Tonight on Cronkite News, a decision to add a new fee at One Valley Airport, how this could impact community members.
And a look into what's causing severe weather storms across the U.S. Plus, relief for some here in Arizona experiencing a brutal heat.
And the Phoenix Suns host the Portland Trail Blazers tonight at Mortgage Matchup Center. We'll have a preview of tonight's game. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Abby Jurek.
And I'm Antonio Gutierrez. Thank you for joining us.
Falcon Field Airport in Mesa is adding landing fees beginning May 1st.
Cronkite News reporter Bentley Yank tells us more about the impact this will have on pilots, businesses, and residents.
Planes touching down at Falcon Field Airport in Mesa will soon face new landing fees.
I feel like they're going to be very detrimental to not only my own business, but the airport as a whole.
The fees start at $20 and get higher depending on the weight of the aircraft.
I think the new fees are a complete excuse by a mismanaged airport to try and appease Mesa residents when there is a problem.
Pilots are frustrated after the Mesa City Council voted to approve the fees. The city estimates it will raise about $2 million a year for airport wear and tear. Neighbors hope it will mean less traffic.
It makes you want to go outside and yell at the planes.
Robert Graham lives in the flight path and says the noise is his biggest problem.
It's when you have multiple planes just one after another, every 10 seconds flying over your house, it really becomes annoying.
When I was out at Falcon Field, it was tough to find a break between planes, but they're not new. Falcon Field has been the heart of Mesa, Arizona since 1941, and there is a lot of controversy happening about the noise pollution and the landing fees.
When I learned to fly here 20 years ago, there was probably 5, 7, maybe 10 flight school planes. Now there's over 200. So, I mean, the growth in flight schools at this airport has just been exponential.
There is absolutely a noise problem in Mesa. The airport has allowed too much of the wrong kind of growth to come in.
And flight schools like Simply Fly remain worried.
I already pay land lease fees, tie-down fees, fuel flowage fees. There's a lot of fees that we already pay here.
The city said the new fee could reduce traffic by about 10%. From Falcon Field, Bentley Yank, Cronkite News.
Thank you, Bentley.
The new landing fee makes flying into Falcon Field more expensive than nearby Mason Gateway, for example, but the city said it will provide the first 10 landings for free.
Homeowners are getting a warning from Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays, this time on a growing pattern of fraudulent contractors targeting those building accessory dwelling units.
ADUs are also known as casitas, guest houses, or a mother-in-law suite. Attorney General Mays says some faulty contractors are charging homeowners upfront payments and then abandoning their clients. Mays warns homeowners to do proper research on who they contract with and make sure to never pay the full amount before any project starts.
A milestone for the Arizona Department of Transportation as their construction on the US 60 Queen Creek Bridge project is officially halfway done.
But what makes this project so important? The nearly $45 million project will replace bridges on each side of the Queen Creek Tunnel. The update is the largest of 2 projects designed to ease passenger and commercial traffic. This milestone comes nearly 2 years after work began and is expected to continue into mid-2028.
Arizona U.S. Senator Mark Kelly is among other congressional Democrats speaking out against President Donald Trump in an effort to end the war with Iran. Senator Kelly is one of several Senate Democrats who want to force a vote to end the war through a war powers resolution.
Let me be pretty blunt. The American people are poorer and less safe because of this president. He got us into a conflict without a strategic goal, without a plan, without a timeline, without an exit strategy, and at this point, he is just flailing.
President Trump said he is within his rights to strike Iran in order to protect the U.S. In other news this week marks Black Maternal Health Week across America, recognizing that childbirth can be one of the most exciting times, but also very dangerous.
Cronkite News reporter Camry Radden shows us how doulas around the valley are making an effort to support mothers and each other.
For doulas like Yolanda Walker, bringing a baby into the world is not something to take lightly.
The data is the data. Black women are 3 to 5 times higher than other races to experience any type of death or mortality, morbidity within the first year of postpartum.
Doulas work as advocates for the mom.
No matter if it's a doula, your mom, your friend, or your cousin, it's important to have them there to bounce ideas off of, but also to advocate for you.
Sharing advice and support through delivery and activism.
National Black Doula Day is celebrated on April 11th, and events like these help bring awareness and uplift birth workers in the community.
But this event specifically being an event of doulas is so key to our community because when a woman goes through pregnancy, it's the biggest transition of her life.
And for Black women, there's a history of risk throughout pregnancy and after.
So a lot of that goes back to slavery days, not valuing who we are, and even though we bring so much to the table.
Some stereotypes mean pain is ignored and dismissed, and the patient may not feel safe in a hospital. Doulas want to be there for moms, but feel they don't have enough access to clinical care settings.
So if we can get into the system to help fix the system, right, and collaborate with the clinical teams, the doctors, the nurses, the researchers, right, we're all in here for the same reason, to make sure we get a healthy mom and a healthy baby.
And remind mothers they are not alone.
You can do it yourself, but you deserve help.
In Phoenix, Camry Radden, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, Phoenix implements new measures to keep more people safe from the heat.
This pilot program could protect renters from eviction this summer.
It's not a permanent program, but we have attorneys that we contracted with, so they provide legal services and represent individuals in court that are going through an eviction or even post-eviction.
Find out more and how you can seek some relief coming up on Cronkite News.
Plus, could cooler weather be in store for the valley? Find out next on Cronkite News.
People have always had trouble trying to put me into a box. A professor, suit and tie is just not me. Without the ocean, I don't know what I would do. You know, the ocean's always been there for me. As Hawaiian people, we believe that the coral is the first living being to come out of the darkness. It's the foundation of our entire lifestyle, and that's what my research is about. What we do is we take photographs of the reef over long periods of time to create models that can tell us what the planet is doing. If we go deaf to what the Earth is telling us, then we'll never be able to live in harmony. If I can get my students excited about protecting the ocean, then they're the ones who are gonna really make the difference. I hope my students realize that I'm not trying to prepare them for something in the distant future. Their time is now at Arizona State University.
Innovation at the Walter Cronkite School is pushing the boundaries of traditional journalism.
Storytelling has evolved over the years. This is part of that evolution.
Students in the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Lab are using emerging technology to create scenes in augmented and virtual reality, coding playable games, and bringing the audience into the story.
They're only limited by their imagination and their willingness to learn.
Find out more at cronkite.asu.edu.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. We have a full week of harsh weather hitting across the U.S., and now we're starting to see the damage.
That's right, Abby. Starting in Ottawa, Kansas today, we have a first look at the damage from Monday night's tornado. It was one of multiple confirmed tornadoes that ripped through areas just south of Kansas City. This twister had winds up to 115 miles per hour, according to the Weather Service. Several buildings were damaged and power was knocked out, but only a few minor injuries have been reported.
The Midwest is experiencing its own severe storm. This morning, streets in Wisconsin and Michigan were completely flooded. Rescues are underway as the region is seeing one of its wettest starts to spring on record. Parts of southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois could see hail the size of softballs this week.
Northern Texas, Oklahoma, and southeast Kansas can expect another round of strong storms heading into tomorrow.
While severe storms continue to hit parts of the U.S., back here in the valley, we've already experienced record-breaking heat so far this year. And just this week, the Maricopa County Health Department reported its first heat-related death of 2026. With more heat on the way, the city has launched new measures to help people stay safe. Cronkite News reporter Ray Tadako shows us how renters can get help.
This year, the city of Phoenix launches a new program to help renters avoid eviction and stay out of the heat. It's a pilot program to help renters with legal assistance in eviction court.
It's not a permanent program, but we have attorneys that we contracted with, so they provide legal services and represent individuals in court that are going through an eviction or even post-eviction. So if somebody has an eviction on their record and they're just struggling to get into a new site, they can actually help with that as well to help get their record cleaned up a little bit so it's not as hard for them to get into a future property.
While they're testing the program, it's available for free for any low-income renters facing eviction. The city will also hold one-on-one sessions that are in person or online to help communities through the eviction process. There are other programs to support renters too. This year, the Maricopa County has already approved roughly 14,000 applications and rental assistance and utility assistance. That's about $135 million to help those in need. In the field, Ray Tadako, Cronkite News. Now back to Abby and Antonio in the newsroom.
Thank you so much, Ray. Speaking of the heat, it seems like we're getting a little bit of a break here in the valley.
At least that's how it's feeling, Abby. You know, I almost put on a jacket this morning.
Well, we have Matthew Pierce joining us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with our full forecast.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a nice break from the heat we've been seeing to start spring, which brings me to tonight's lows. If we go ahead and take a look at what we're expecting this evening, 77 at 6 p.m. with wind up at 8 miles an hour, but we're going to drop off in both temperatures and miles per hour come 10 p.m., but we're not going to break under that 70-degree mark until later in the evening, which brings me to tomorrow morning. If we track what we expect tomorrow morning when you're getting ready for work, dropping those kids off at the school bus or at school, 8 a.m., 65 degrees, some nice temperatures for when you're doing that, but we're going to progress up to the mid-80s as the day continues with nice sunshine throughout expected currently before dropping off under 80 at 8 p.m. as the night progresses. Bringing me to the lows of the valley. If we look up north, back under freezing. And here in the valley, 61 degrees, out west 66 degrees. So these lows have come back down to earth and we're really appreciating what we have here. So great opportunity to get outside and enjoy some nice low temperatures here in the valley. You know, play some nighttime pickleball, play some night golf. I know there's a couple courses out there that got lights. But if we go ahead and look at the highs here in Arizona, here in the valley, 86 degrees, out west 88 degrees. So those highs aren't breaking through 90, but they're definitely heating up. And like I said last week, if you're looking for somewhere to escape the heat here in the valley, look no further than Sedona and Payson. Great places to get outside and enjoy some weather outdoors, whether you're hiking or hanging out with family and friends. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at what we're tracking for the rest of the week, here on Wednesday, Thursday, 86, 88, but things are going to heat up as the weekend continues to move on, getting all the way up to 96 degrees on Sunday before cooling back off early next week. From the Weather Center, I'm Matthew Pierce.
Thank you, Matthew, for the update. Keeping the weather theme going, Arizona Snowball has just finished its winter season.
That's right, Abby, but Snowball will be reopening for an additional 2 days this week. After receiving 6 inches of snow overnight, Snowball will be reopening from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. today and tomorrow. The mountain will be open for skiers and snowboarders, and during the 2 bonus days, the Arizona Gondola will be the only lift open for operation. As of Tuesday morning, Snowball has already seen 150 inches of snowfall this season.
Coming up next, one Mercury legend was just inducted into the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes, Diana Taurasi earned herself a spot among the best in Arizona sports.
I came in 2004 and I was just a little kid, and to think about 20 years later, to be here, the Hall of Fame, It means a lot.
Find out who else was inducted along with Taurasi, coming up on Cronkite News.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Maine O'Neill, and thank you for joining us. Postseason basketball is here as the Phoenix Suns are tipping off against the Portland Trailblazers tonight for their play-in tournament game. Our very own Jacob Brooks is down at Mortgage Matchup Center getting ready for the action. And Jacob, what's the word on this big-time matchup tonight?
Thanks, Aiden. Yeah, I'm here in downtown Phoenix where the play-in tournament matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trailblazers is only a few hours away. And it's safe to say it was a roller coaster for these Suns to even be thinking about postseason basketball. Their core trio of Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, and Jalen Green missed a combined 90 games this season, but the Suns were still able to scrape and claw their way to the Western Conference's 7th seed. Now, although this is postseason basketball, this technically isn't a win-or-go-home game for the Suns tonight against the Blazers, so let's break down what all of their potential outcomes could be. Now, here's the Western Conference playoff bracket. As you can see, the Suns are facing off against the Blazers in that 7-8 matchup. If Phoenix wins tonight, they will take on the 2-seeded Spurs in the first round of the playoffs. If they lose, they get one more chance in a win-or-go-home game against the winner of the Clippers versus Warriors matchup. If they lose, they're done. If they win, they set up a date against the number 1-seeded OKC Thunder. That's a lot to break down, but the players today at Phoenix's shoot-around were locked in for the postseason.
Ready. We played all year for this moment right here, getting the playoffs and stuff like that. So I'm ready. Mom and dad here, so I'm excited, man. I got mom and dad watching play, so I'm ready to play.
Obviously, the intensity's a little higher. Attention to details a little higher right now. The fans are already great, but this is going to be a real playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, Aiden, the players are locked in. There are already fans crowding outside of Mortgage Matchup Center. You can feel that playoff intensity in the air. But that's it for me from downtown Phoenix. Jacob Brooks, let's send it back to you, Aiden.
Thanks so much for that, Jacob. The WNBA draft, though, also took place yesterday evening, with UConn shooting guard AZ Fudd going as the first overall pick to the Dallas Wings. And the Phoenix Mercury were able to pick up two great players in their own right. The Mercury are finally back in the draft game after trading their picks in the 2024 and 2025 drafts for players. Both of the Mercury picks this year are international players. Ines Pitarch-Grenelle, a forward from France, and Esther Rotkoy, a guard from Hungary. A new class of Arizona sports legends were honored as the 2026 Hall of Fame class has officially been inducted. Our Luke Carter was there to check it out.
The 2026 Arizona Sports Hall of Fame class was highlighted by none other than the WNBA all-time leading scorer and 3-time WNBA champion, all with the Phoenix Mercury, Diana Taurasi.
I came in 2004 and I was just a little kid, and to think about 20 years later, to be here, the Hall of Fame, it means a lot. It's been such an amazing 2 decades, and I call this my professional home, but this is our home. We live here full time, so the Valley's great. It's everything that I heard it was, and even more. And it's just been an incredible time.
While Taurasi headlines the 2026 class of the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, there are other notable inductees this year, such as J.J. Hardy and Michael Bates.
It feels great. I mean, it's very humbling. This means a lot to me because I'm proud to be from Arizona. It makes me think about my childhood growing up in Tucson, Little League, going to school there, Sabino, all the people that have been along this journey with me. It's a great feeling.
Rounding out the amazing class of 2026 are Michael Bates, Frank Bush, Craig Girard, Michael Pantaleone, and the late George Young, whose wife Nancy was there to accept the honor on his behalf. In Phoenix, Luke Carter, Cronkite News.
ASU baseball suffered a tough loss to Arizona last night, losing in extra innings to the Tucson team. After tying up the game 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Sun Devils fought, but ultimately lost by 2 runs after a pair were scored in the 11th by the Wildcats.
Had our opportunities, just didn't get it done, bottom line. No excuses. We had several opportunities to cash in runs, and we just couldn't come up with a big hit again. And Moose did a good job of getting us started. Only runs he gave up were via the long ball. Just offensively, with the wind blowing the way it was, to only put up 3 runs was disappointing.
The Diamondbacks have made some pitching roster moves yesterday after their game against the Orioles. The D-backs have reinstated Merrill Kelly after a short run on the IL robbed him of his opening day start. He will be the starting pitcher in tonight's game against Baltimore. And with this change, they also moved Brandon Pfaadt down to a relief position, an option relief pitcher Taylor Rashi to AAA Reno. That's it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Aiden O'Neill. Thank you so much for joining us. Now back to Abby and Antonio.
Thank you, Aiden. Now coming up next, one man is taking the term cross-country running very seriously.
That's right, Abby. Stay tuned to learn more about this 1,000-mile journey. Welcome back to Cronkite News. For anyone looking to travel soon, you may have fewer flight options because of the Iran war.
Yeah, Antonio, United Airlines says it will be cutting flights due to surging fuel prices caused by the war. United Airlines CEO says the affected flights will be ones that are less popular, including midweek and overnight flights. In a memo, that CEO noted how jet fuel prices more than doubled since the war began in late February. The surging price could cost the airline an extra $11 billion in this year alone. Another big company is making big moves, but Amazon isn't staying in the sky, they're going for the stars.
The company bought a satellite operator called Globalstar in an $11 billion deal. The tech world is nicknaming it the Musk versus Bezos space race, as this deal will make Amazon the leading competitor of SpaceX Starlink service. Amazon will have some catching up to do after the merge, but launch its own direct-to-device service. This supports texting and emergency services on Apple iPhones when cell service isn't available.
And for our final news of the day, we're going to take a look at an outstanding feat.
Yeah, Abby, a man named Noah Coughlin is trying to run through all 50 states by Independence Day. The 5,500-mile journey has taken years, and for Coughlin, the run is about bringing attention to the American people and the communities he's met along the way. His laborious trek that equals about a marathon a day will continue through northwestern states before his final 2 stops, Alaska and Hawaii.
A really special experience as an American, walking across America with our national emblem. And you're seeing it's a magnet. You're seeing people pull over, and it means a lot to everybody.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Abby Jurek.
And I'm Antonio Gutierrez. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to arizonanews.azpbs.org.